In 1975, the British Leyland Motor Corporation collapses and is nationalised to British Leyland. It's later renamed Leyland Cars, and then British Leyland Cars Limited, and then renamed again to the Austin Rover Group. From 1982, the MG name comes back into use. However, this time it's used for sportier versions of the Austin Metro, Maestro and Montego models. In 1988, MG and Rover are re-privatised under the Margaret Thatcher era. They are sold to British Aerospace for £150 million. In 1992, MG launches the RV8. It's simply a modified MGB, a design by at which point was already 30 years old. It featured a 3.9 litre V8 which produced 185 horsepower, helping the MG RV8 hit 60 in 5.9 seconds. In total, nearly 2,000 were sold. In 1994, the British Aerospace sells Rover to BMW for £800 million. This caused uproar in the British Parliament. In 1995, MG launches the MGF. It was designed under British Aerospace in the early 1990s as a mid-engined rear-wheel drive model featuring 1.6 and 1.8 litre engines with up to 145 horsepower. It was released under the BMW's Rover Group and then later sold as the MGTF when MG Rover became an independent company, at which point it had up to 160 horsepower. BMW failed to return a profit on MG Rover, and in the year 2000 they sold the company for just £10. In 2001, MG launches the ZR. It's simply a rebadged Rover 25, itself a rebadged Rover 200 from 1995. It used a shortened chassis that had come from the previous Rover 200, which itself was a collaboration with the Honda Concerta. 2001 also saw the launch of the MG ZS. It was larger than the ZR. It was simply a rebadged Rover 45 that had come from the Rover 400, which was based on the Honda Domini from 1992. An updated version of the ZS was used as the 2009 MG5 concept. In 2001, MG also launched the ZT. It was relatively new, based on the Rover 75 that had been developed during the BMW era. BMW didn't interfere with development. After 2005, it becomes China's MG7 and the Worldwide 750 until 2016. The top of the range sat the ZT V8. It featured a 4.6 litre Ford Mustang V8, which produced 260 horsepower and could hit 60 in 6 seconds. A supercharged version with 385 horsepower missed production due to issues with MG's finances. In 2003, a modified MG ZTT becomes the world's fastest estate car. The modified version produces 800 horsepower and it had a top speed of 225 miles an hour. In 2003, MG launches the X-Power SV and SVR. The SV had a 4.6 litre engine, while the SVR had a 5 litre with 385 horsepower and a 0 to 60 time of under 5 seconds. It featured Fiat Punto headlights, Fiat Coupe rear lights and other MG bits. MG Rover was criticised for developing a high-end coupe instead of working to replace its core models. Only 82 X-Powers were believed to have been built. In 2005, MG Rover goes bankrupt. It's bought out by China's Nanjing Automobile Group that same year. In 2007, SAIC took over Nanjing. Since 2009, MG has been one of SAIC's main companies. 2007 sees the relaunch of the MGTF. This time it's built in China but then assembled in Longbridge, UK. In total 906 of these were built. In 2008, MG launches the 550. It's only sold in Chile. In its home market China, it's named the Worldwide 550. It's restyled as the MG6 in 2009. It's built in China and then reassembled in Longbridge. 2008 saw the launch of the MG3. It was simply an updated version of the Rover Streetwise. It featured the same Rover 1.4 litre 105 horsepower engine. In 2011, a second generation that had been developed in the UK and then built in China was launched. In 2013, this model was facelifted and this saw it come to the UK for the first time. The car had a second facelift in 2018. In 2015, MG launches the GS, the first new MG SUV. In 2017, MG launches the ZS. It's a much better success than the GS. It featured economical 1 litre and 1.5 litre turbocharged engines, as well as an electric model as of 2018. By 2024, over 1 million ZS's have been built. 2016 saw the launch of the China-only second generation MG6. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid this time. 2020 saw it facelifted with an all-new look, as well as a 300 horsepower X-Power variant plug-in hybrid. 2022 sees the launch of the MG4, a hatchback with over 300 miles of range. It's practical while the X-Power variant has a 435 horsepower twin electric motor setup and can hit 60 in just 3.8 seconds. 2022 also sees the launch of the second generation MG7. It's their stylish flagship and features 1.5 and 2 litre turbo engines. It's only sold in China and the Middle East. 2023 sees the launch of the tiny four-seater MG Comet. It's a rebadged Wuling Air electric vehicle. It's sold as the Chevrolet Spark in Egypt. It's related to the 2020 Wuling Hongyan mini electric vehicle that was once China's best-selling car. 2023 also saw the launch of the third generation MG3. It'll be coming to Europe with a 192 horsepower hybrid setup. 2023 also saw the launch of the MG Cyberster. It's a two-door, two-seat electric convertible. It'll come available with rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive options with up to 540 horsepower. The top spec all-wheel drive models will be able to hit 60 in just 3.2 seconds.